29 people have now lost their lives in a fire at a youth home in Guatemala. The Guatemalan Human Rights Office says the fire broke out after someone set a mattress on fire. Heartbroken families gathered at the home Wednesday looking for their loved ones. Shasta Darlington is covering all this from Rio de Janeiro and joins us now. Shasta, this is a heartbreaking tragedy on different levels. Tell us what happened.
Absolutely, Jonathan. This has been real devastation for the entire country. And to make matters worse, we're now hearing that apparently some of those deaths were avoidable. We're talking about 29 victims, many of them teenage girls. 19 were killed on the scene when this blaze tore through a youth center, a shelter outside of Guatemala City. Then the death toll rose this morning to 29 when hospitals reported that some of those who'd been most seriously injured hadn't pulled through. They have also died. So again, 29 victims. This all started yesterday morning when some of the interns lit a mattress on fire, apparently in a kind of protest. There was chaos, still a lot of confusion. The blaze quickly took over this youth center, and families and friends converged. We have video of desperate mothers banging on doors as ambulances rush back and forth, demanding to know, well, who's survived and who's been killed. And a lot of this confusion just went into the night. There was a candlelight vigil. What we know now this morning is that 720 people were crammed into this shelter that had been built for 580. This was a place that was supposed to protect people who'd been victims of sexual, physical violence, who were trying to recover from drug addiction, who'd been abandoned on the streets. And now we're hearing from some of the first rescuers on the scene that actually not enough was done to prevent these deaths. Take a listen.
Según lo que nos han indicado, fueron dos sectores.
We've been informed that the fire happened in 2 sectors of the correctional. Those sectors were locked and the interns could not get out. But they did not just die burned. The inhalation of carbon monoxide was also the cause of death in those girls.
Now, the Guatemalan government has declared 3 days of mourning, but of course what all of the families and the friends want is a thorough investigation. They want to know why this fire blazed out of control and why it appears that some of these interns who were there to be protected, in fact, couldn't get out and couldn't escape, Jonathan.
What's so shocking is not just that they died that way, but that conditions were so bad inside a home that had been established to care for them.
Exactly, and we also now know that human rights groups had already been investigating this home for reports of abuse. Obviously, there was a wide range of people who were being housed there, dealing with everything from abandonment to physical and sexual abuse. But the human rights groups were investigating reports that the abuse was continuing inside the walls. Obviously, they were crammed in there with not enough space, but on top of that, that they were being abused by the staff and by the people working at the center. These are allegations at this point. The investigations will be long and I'm sure very painful for the families involved. But to even make matters worse, this all happened on International Women's Day, and so many of the victims were teenage girls, Jonathan. Just a tragedy.